When students enter college, they often face the dreaded question, "What's your major?" from family, peers, and teachers. The choice of a major is one that serves as a rudder for the student, directing the classes they'll take, the friendships they'll make, and the job that they'll have in the future. But what happens whenever they want to change that direction and set off in a new course in life? How do they realize that it's a genuine realization for a need for change and not a passing feeling? What are the motivations and rationale behind making that change? Today, we speak to 3 MBU students about what actions they took whenever they came to the fork in the road. Maggie Titus is a senior human services psychology major who changed her degree from pre-nursing early on after she found out colleges generally prefer that you don't transfer into their programs, which she would have had to do through the MOVAT program. Titus discusses how she initially came to her decision to be a pre-nursing major.
So I have a cousin who's been a nurse for the past decade now, and seeing her do it and then watching my sister go through nursing school, I thought it was pretty cool that they would sacrifice so much of their time and family time to be a nurse.
However, Titus was not totally sold on her choice and acknowledged it might change over time.
I knew there was a possibility because when I was choosing colleges, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. Like, I knew I went into helping profession, but I didn't know if it was nursing or social work, and so I just went with nursing because I thought I could always change.
Titus is a central figure in the North Hall community, and she can often be found doing homework in the lobby, talking with friends, or playing games. Titus is outgoing and very social, welcoming everyone she meets into the MBU community. These attributes carry over into her choice of major and how she wants to impact the world.
Ultimately, it's just to help improve a child's life. That's like my one goal. So if I was inspired when I was a kid, I'm hoping to pass that inspiration on to want them to better whatever circumstance that they're currently at into something bigger than what they think they can do.
It's for that reason that Titus feels that she has landed exactly where she needs to be.
I'm pretty content where I am. It's been a struggle with classes and balancing out, trying to find a job in my field with a bachelor's, which made it a little bit more difficult to secure job security. But, I mean, obviously I was successful getting a job, but it just kind of made me want to do it even more because I was determined to find something. Because if I wanted any other job, I could have stuck with nursing and would have had a job anywhere, but in the helping profession, it's hard, but it makes it worth it.
Another student who is equally passionate about making an impact on future generations is Cameron Hume, who transferred to Missouri Baptist in the fall of 2018 from Missouri S&T's Aerospace Engineering program to pursue music education. Hume discovered in his time there that he was having problems with the most crucial element of his major, math.
I was at a different school, Missouri S&T in Rolla, and I was kind of failing like all of my classes. So I was like, okay, something needs to change. And the answer was math was what needed to change. So it was just like a realization that I'm not doing what my career path needs to be for a lot of reasons, and maybe I should reevaluate my life.
Aerospace engineering wasn't a major that Hume had a burning passion for, but instead fell into by happenstance.
I think it was kind of just a thought that like, oh, I'm smart, you know, let's try some like science thing. And I was like, engineering sounds like fun. And then it was just sort of the personal challenge of, I bet I can do this, you know, it'll be fine. And then it wasn't. Most of my life I've just kind of been like, let's wing it and see what happens. So college was just like, yeah, let's see how this goes. And you know, if I have to change everything, then okay.
Hume feels that he has finally landed where he needs to be at MOBAT, but recognized that if change were to become necessary, he would be open to it.
Just everything about being here and just being in music now has just been like a constant, just like, yeah, this is right. I definitely feel better about where I am now. I would hope that it doesn't change anymore because I think that this is definitely a better track for me to be on. But if that's what needs to happen, then I'm not going to complain.
Hume spends most of his time in the Dale Williams Fine Arts Center in the halls in the Rotunda. An instrument or two is usually always within arm's reach as he practices and experiments with musical ideas floating in his head. In the lobbies of the Pillsbury Huff dorm, most people see him with his computer, headphones, MIDI board, and microphone as he makes musical creations and remixes of popular songs. Hume's hobbies are helping prepare him for his future of doing what he enjoys to inspire others.
The end goal, hopefully, would be being a high school band teacher, choir teacher maybe. Even then, I don't really have a set goal in mind. This is the next step to whatever comes next.
A newfound friend of Hume, Gabriel Landergan, is a junior business administration major who also transferred to MBU in the fall of 2018. Initially, when he came to MOBAP, he was a ministry major, but changed his path within only a couple of weeks after the start of the semester.
I kind of went into ministry not as like a last-ditch effort, but because I was pretty unsure of what I wanted to do. And I felt like ministry, is something that I am interested in my personal life. And so I thought going into it as a career or as a degree would be a good direction for me to take.
Despite this change in degree, Landegren feels that his degree is certainly able to help further the gospel message, even though it isn't focused on theology or how to present the teachings of Jesus.
There are business aspects of anything, even churches themselves. They need treasurers, they need people to manage the finances, help them, develop new programs and everything. So business can play into, almost any field of ministry.
Landegren has done work in the past that involved missions with organizations like Missouri Disaster Relief, and in the future he wants to use his degree for similar organizations to do missions.
I really just want to use my business degree in order to help support myself and to support any ministries that I myself go into, or maybe even to work for a mission organization or a church, and using that as kind of my mission is just to help them, help others. I've worked a little bit with Missouri Disaster Relief on not the mission field side of things, but I've done missions at their actual headquarters in Missouri. I've also, thought about working with World Changers. They have to have people to organize those kind of events and stuff. They do a lot of work similar to Missouri Disaster Relief, but it's more national than Missouri Disaster Relief.
Most people who know Landegren also know his commitment to Christ and how serious he is about his faith. Landegren feels that his change was necessary in following what the will of God was for his life. He believes that no one should be ashamed of moving out of the ministry like he did, and that it should be used as a learning opportunity.
One thing I would tell them is that to think of it almost as a lesson. Like maybe God took you briefly into ministry in order to tell you, to show you what you were really meant to do.
Cases like Titus's, Hume's, and Landegren's are not uncommon to see in today's college environment. Although numbers can vary greatly depending on the source, according to the December 2017 edition of a publication called Data Point from the U.S. Department of Education, 30% of undergraduates in associate's and bachelor's programs had changed their major at least once within the first 3 years of enrollment. 1 in 10 students had changed their major more than once. Almost 52% of those whose declared major was math switched within 3 years. Additionally, according to EAB, research found that those who finalized their major second semester or later were 4% more likely to graduate than those who finalized it in the first semester. The study found that settling on a final major between the second and eighth terms of enrollment did not lower students' graduation rates, hovering around 82 to 84%. 1/4 of students who decided on a final major before their senior year still graduated within 4 years. Able to draw on her experiences, Titus advises students who are questioning whether or not to change their major to go ahead and take the chance, because you won't know if it's right until you try.
When you're already questioning if this is the major for you, do it. Change it, because there's no harm in changing what direction you're going, because ultimately God knows where you're going.
Reporting for MBU Timeline, I'm Dylan White.